After nearly 3 months on the road, it was time to head home. I'm backing out of my spot here. You see the green grass where I was. We had 4 inches of snow all around. There's the barn in the upstairs. I would walk around that and get my exercise. There's some weights and stuff to use up there. So I'm driving out from the farm and onto the highway. We're going to head south. In just a few seconds, we're going to see a deer cross the road. See, we got deer up in the road here. I don't know if you can see that in the GoPro. Off to the right here. And he's already gone. So this is some scenery farther along towards the Columbia River. And you'll see an old apple orchard to the right coming up here. I like the way the snow dusted all the branches on the trees. And it's a pretty scene with that hillside up ahead. We're turning off onto Highway 141 alternate, which goes down the valley along the White Salmon River, and we're going to come out down next to the Columbia River. You'll see in a second. And there is the White Salmon River. Up ahead on the right of the bridge is where the local Native American tribe is building a new marina. So they've got some heavy equipment down there digging and setting up for their fishing vessels. We're going to take a right turn here and cross the bridge. And just across the bridge, we're going to do the safety check on the truck before we really hit the road. All these areas along here are real popular with the sailboarders, parasailers, and board headers, as we call them. So I'm going to get out of the truck, run around with my tire pressure gauge and check the tire pressures, take a look at the chains holding the truck camper down, make sure everything is all snug and secure. And I use an analog dial gauge so I can tell the pressure, no batteries needed. And we're off. Coming up on the right is a Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tunnel. Then we're going to go through this tunnel here just as a semi comes through. And that's always a white knuckle experience. And we're going to drive along the Columbia River here, take note of the mountains on the left. And we're through the tunnel again. And if you look to the right, there's a little pull-out that some of the sailboarders like to pull off and get their stuff together to go sailing on the Columbia. Here's another tunnel. There's several tunnels along this section of the Columbia. It's a beautiful drive. There's a little lake here, and after the lake here is a turnout for more camping right there. And another tunnel. So you see the mountains on the left there, that's Oregon, another tunnel. And here we have Drano Lake, and it's really popular at certain times of the year with fishermen. That little lake is packed with people trying to catch salmon. There is the boat launch there, nice clean new little park. And on the right you see the road going into the marina, the Drano Lake Marina. And here is a rock wall that is designed to hold back landslides. I like this mountain up ahead. It has kind of like a crater looking feature to it. So this is a place where I was going to pull off and show you guys a little campsite that's along the Columbia River here. Unfortunately, it's closed. If you look out the windshield right there, you see the stop sign and the gate across the road. There's that mountain with the crater on it. So I got to turn back onto the highway, left going westbound. And of course, just as I'm doing it, a semi wants to turn in to the right, so I give him a wide berth. And here we go again. Now we're in the little town of Skamania, and it's a nice little place dot on the highway. If you look ahead here, we just crossed the railroad tracks, and that is a pier out ahead. You can go, I guess, just walk out on it, go fishing. Those are the mountains in the Oregon side again. We're going to drive up here this is a park that Skamania is building all along their waterfront. And so I'm going to pull up here and make myself a quick lunch. And while I was having lunch, there was a backhoe working on some beachfront that's going to be part of this park. So I watched the backhoe doing its work for a while. This is the backhoe sped up to, I think, 8 times, and they just started to work right when I pulled up. So that was kind of fun to watch, and it's even more fun to watch at high speed. You can see the pier out there, and at the end of the pier on either side are some pilings. Those, I believe, were for an old ferry that used to cross the river for either passengers or passenger and vehicle service. But with the bridges, that's long since gone. So anyway, we sat here and watched the backhoe work for a while. Now I'm going to pull out and hit the road. And by the way, we were parked next to a distillery that is a new facility in the town there. It's a lively little town. Now this is the marina in Skamania. We're going to go down to the far end of the parking lot, and these pontoons are part of a pier that's in for the season. And in the summer they'll put those back out. See the mountains on the Oregon side again. It's a beautiful drive along here. It's one of the nicest drives anywhere, all along the Columbia River Gorge. And so we're going to head on out of Skamania. Now what we're looking at here, this is the new Skamania Lodge. And it's a big lodge. It's a Forest Service lodge, I believe, meant to be on par with Timberline Lodge, Glacier National Park, East Glacier and West Glacier Lodges. This is the hotel entrance and valet parking area. There is like a convention center. They also have zip lines all through here. You see the zip line platform up in the tree to the right. So we're going to head out here, and there's a bridge that crosses the river, and you see the river estuary here to the right. And to the right there somewhere is where the Skamania Lodge is. I guess we can't really see it from here, but so we're just heading out of Skamania again. On the right you see these little bump outs into the lake, and you can pull in and camp or fish or whatever there. It's kind of an interesting one. Straight ahead is Beacon Rock, and it was closed now, but there is a wood ladder built onto it that you can climb all the way to the top, and I guess the view up there is pretty spectacular. And so you can see there are a few people parked along there, but I think they're just kind of looking at it. You couldn't get in and up the stairs. So we're going to go past some semis here in a second. And I didn't bother driving through Beacon Rock State Park. Now this, I'm just putting batteries into the GoPro, and what I had done here is there was a sign saying historical marker, so I thought I would pull in and take a look at what the historical marker is. Unfortunately, there was no marker to be found, but it was still a pretty interesting drive. Never would have seen this if I didn't drive up there. That's one of the keys to taking drives through the country, is to take that odd road and see where it leads. So we're going to get going here in a second, and there's black cattle on the left, and I believe there's some wine fields on the right side. Now we are crossing a bridge that's over the Columbia River here, one of the channels, and it's supposedly there's going to be a second bridge built here soon. It's becoming a more and more populated area. And this is down heading into Vancouver, Washington. Now this is one of my favorite pit stops up in Chehalis. That's Burgerville, where you can get a pretty good hamburger, fries, chocolate shake. Of course, chocolate shakes are not part of my diet. I usually get a coffee, black. That Sprinter van on the right, there was an older gentleman driving that across the country, having the time of his life. And it was a nice setup. So we're going to get out of here in just a second. And here is a steel arch bridge just heading out of Olympia. And I always liked that bridge. I just thought, wow, that is an interesting structure. Now here I'm going to show you how fast I can empty my holding tanks. So I stop, get out, and I have a special technique that lets me get it done, and we're done. So we're heading out of the pit stop there, the Fife rest stop, and we're making the final stretch home. So I'm looking forward to getting home. I get to see my cat Charlie that I haven't seen in almost 3 months. So Kelly's got the camera. Kelly's kind of camera shy. And here we go. And there is Charlie looking at me right there. He heard my truck and he was at the window. So there's the meow. And here's the quick reading and the, hey, who are you? I remember you. Now I'm going to go, here's the grab and the lift. And there's a couple of kitty pets. And now we're going to get the hugs and kisses. So that is my trip. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and all the other videos related to heading down to the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous and back. Please do subscribe.
We got 2 loops. Come on, Charlie. Come on, keep going. By himself. He's going all around by himself. Keep going. Such a fit. Oh, there we go. Come on. Keep going, buddy. Here we go. Look at that tail. Come on. It's a new world's record. Come on, Charlie. Not much prompting, and he's doing it all by himself. Oh, look at that. Keep going. Good boy. Good boy. Look at the pounds just melted. Good job. Well, let's keep going. Oh, just getting the hang of it. Oh, that's all he does. No stops, gotta rest. It's hard work, man. Oh, that's it.